For so many multinationals, Ireland is an attractive place to operate and to grow, thanks to our highly educated workforce. And it's important also to them and for us that our tax regime is stable and that it's respected. And there have been elements of our tax code that have not lived up to those standards in the past, whether it was the double Irish or the facilitation of stateless companies. These arrangements inflicted considerable reputational damage on the state and were rightly following pressure from Sinn Féin and others closed down. It is not in the interest of the state or our economy to have an unwelcome spotlight shone on our tax system, especially when such attention provides motivation for some to encroach on what should never be at stake, that is, our tax sovereignty. In 2016, the European Commission found that 2 tax rulings issued by the Revenue in 1991 and in 2007 to Apple had substantially and artificially lowered the tax paid by Apple since 1991. It declared that more than €14 billion in unpaid taxes and interest was owed by Apple to Ireland. The arrangement the Commission investigated was disclosed by Apple's own head of tax operations, Philip Bullock, where he said that the income earned by Apple's subsidiaries in Ireland in question was subject to, in his own words, in accordance with an agreement that we have with Ireland, and he confirmed that that agreement was that there was a maximum of 2% fixed on the tax. This allowed a situation where Apple's Irish subsidiary recorded European profits of €16 billion in 2021, with only €50 million of tax paid here. The Irish Government decided, wrongly in our view at the time, to join Apple in appealing the case to the General Court. But that case was won. I said in July 2020, when the Government proclaimed victory, that this was not a cause for victory, but marked only half-time in the case. Minister, today the Advocate General of the European Court of Justice has given his opinion that the ECJ should set aside the judgment of the General Court and has proposed that the case should instead be referred back to the General Court for a new decision to be made. It should be noted that his opinion is non-binding, with the ECJ judgment due in the next several months. However, there is no doubt about it. Today's opinion is a blow for Apple and indeed for the Government who took the case. Worse still, it is a further embarrassment for the state, and again it shines a spotlight on our tax affairs and further strengthens the resolve of some within the Commission to encroach on something that was never at question in this case, and that is our tax sovereignty and the right to set our own corporate tax rate fairly and consistently. Regardless of what way the courts judge, the fact is an Irish subsidiary of Apple in 2011 recorded €16 billion profit and paid a 0.03% tax rate. So do you accept that today's opinion will shine an unwelcome spotlight on our former tax affairs of the state and further inflict reputational damage? And what's the Government's strategy going forward?